Hey everybody, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing? Let's see. We got Suckle dropping a like. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We got Nicole, morning, going to alert, not feeling good from the heat. I get it. I totally get it. And Suckle is feeling grossly underslept. I understand. And Jenna says, doing well. We got Eva. And we've got Tracy. Tracy, I have got your question saved, and we are going to pop it up. It's going to be the first one that we hit. But before we get into that, I want my lovely co-host to introduce themselves. And Jenna, you want to start, and then we'll go to Rach.
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Jenna O'Malley. I am your soul writer, author of sci-fi fantasy with dashes of romance and nerdy references. Alongside the raw healing stories, my characters in the Myrna Annals, Kickstarter launching whenever midnight tonight Eastern is. How many hours that is. I do help other soul bards go ahead and realign their businesses and their books to help them feel in sync and operating from the soul. Thank you, Sam. I did not see that there. Little ninja. Thank you. And I also have a class closing for enrollment on Canva and StreamYard the 11th. So it's going to be a busy week this week. Rach.
I am Rachel D. Adams. I write urban fantasy, paranormal romance, fantasy, and horror. I also have a series that I think was going to get 2 books this year if this trend keeps going. Let's hope for that. We have I also have aggressively helpful writing advice, which is my Substack. But before my Substack, I was actually doing that in Medium and also just on the boards in general as something that I felt was helpful to other writers. I would be like, yo, broadcast, just so you know. And so that's been my go-to, is always helping other authors.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And for those of you who might not know me, I am writer Sam Wicker, writer of Romantasy, and apparently I'm going into the spice realm with it, with some of these latest books, and that's been interesting. But yeah, I chronicle my endeavors here on my YouTube channel, and I also try to help writers as best as I can. Of late, I have been doing, well, the first video goes up today, excuse me, about side quests, how you can make procrastination work for you. So today's video is all about social media and doom scroll. Yes, the Kickstarter will go well. I believe in it.
It's got to go well because she's got to teach me everything she knows.
Same. Me too.
Just let me know what you want to know.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into our first question. Tracy had kind of a double question going on, so this is the first one. How do you get your head back into a series / world after an extended break? I'm trying to get back into my fantasy series after a year-long break, and I'm struggling. So who wants to take on this first?
Do you want to go ahead and take this one first, Rach?
Well, I have a question up front. Are you sure you want to get back into this particular fantasy series?
Ooh.
I've had similar things happen, and I wound up not every time I would get into it, I would hit a wall. I would get mad at myself, get frustrated with myself. And so I just set it aside and was like, okay, well, maybe it's not going to happen. And I wound up with new characters in my head telling me a new story, and that worked out better. So that would be my first question is, are you sure you want to do it this way? Or are the people in your head telling you maybe they want something different, or maybe you're just maybe you need something different for a little while?
And for me, it would just be include whatever you can change the content you consume to be supportive of what you're writing. In the last couple of years, I've really gone through and retailored what even like pages I follow on my own personal social media just to be more uplifting, less sarcastic, dark humor like it used to be. So that way, when I'm in that, do I really, I chose to work on this, but my motivation's low. I'm kind of finding subtle supports of ways I can stay in the motivated path. If it's fantasy themed, make it fantasy themed. If you need a Pinterest board, do that. For me, the biggie is I've got to have music playing, or my brain sometimes can't even open a door to access the world. So I would definitely say make yourself a playlist of things you can type to that won't necessarily distract you. For me, it has to have a good beat sometimes to really keep up to. And it just really has to keep my ears in the world, or else cute little four-legged things and other family members will pull me out of it easier, if you get my meaning.
All right, just to piggyback off of what Jenna said, I don't really necessarily make playlists because for some odd reason they aggravate me. I'm not sure why, but YouTube music, after you listen to music on YouTube for a while, they kind of create playlists for you. And I just kind of want to show you my page here. It's a lot of dark stuff, obviously, but and I do have different artists that I use for different characters. Like Nickelback, unfortunately, is like Ansgar and Hans jams. I don't know why, but the rest of these are like, this is mostly my vampire, werewolf, paranormal epic right here. The female vocals can be for my dragon princess thing that whatever she wants to be at the moment. So yeah, but and I think I commented with what I did in order to get back into the epic, which I'm still kind of struggling with. So take this advice and like a grain of salt. But I reread what I had written, including the little side stories or the scenes that I knew would come way later, or even in the second, third, fourth books, just to try to get back into the mindset. And I also read a little bit of my world Bible that I built. Granted, it's not that huge because I am not an outliner at all, but I had notes from what I had written just so that I could remember. And then I read the last 3 chapters of what I had written and then scrapped it and started again. So, so it really depends on just you and how you can trick your brain into going, oh, okay, let's start on this again. Instead of your brain thinking, I'm done. But at the same time, if you're done, you're done. Move on to something else.
If all you're finding is just the problems, maybe you need a completely new project. If you're able to start seeing solutions, work on it for a day, see what happens for a day, and then pivot from there.
And just also kind of like what Sam was saying, with ours, this is actually the third draft when we start working through revisions at this point, because again, like what you're talking about is, going away from it for a while and then coming back and rereading it. And then as you're rereading it, you're like, well, maybe this will work, or maybe this will work. You get new ideas when you reread it. So, and then that can loosen the block if you're rereading it and then adding new ideas or changing things up a little bit.
And don't be afraid to reread it out of order. When I went and redid the rebrand for books 1, 2, and 3 to elongate them into 5 books, I literally took like the entire original half of what was the end of book 3, and it's now spliced between all 5 books and a spinoff. because I said, I know where the problem starts. It's chapter blank. And that's where I started, was that chapter, because I knew the first like 10 chapters were solid, did not bother with for the third book to be what it's becoming for tomorrow's Kickstarter.
Yeah. So yeah, don't be afraid to change it, and don't be afraid to scrap it if you feel like you're a better writer now too, or to rework it. I wrote the first portion of my book 20 years ago. I'm old. But and I ended up scrapping it and starting in a whole new place, because where I started 20 years ago was bland.
As a coach of mine said, the story was 20 years ahead of your ability, but at least you had the seeds to plant and wait on you.
There you go.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Eva also answers, don't force it. Never worked with a hard deadline others expected or that impacted my pay with writing. So I just find another story. Her current work in progress is a 12-year-old fantasy her head is in right now. So that's another thing. You might need to kind of wander off and write a short story just to, flex that muscle a little bit.
Might I suggest giving those stories for stuff like that?
Yes. And Nicole answers too. Sometimes something old news is a new spin can always take the idea and revamp it. Yes. And Tracy says, good idea about the playlist, and she definitely wants to get into it. Mama Maggie, heart goes out to you. Hope things go better today.
Definitely.
Let's see. Tracy says, I'm currently rereading the other 2 books in this series and trying to get a series Bible created at the moment. Oh, okay. Cool.
That might actually help.
Yeah. Yeah, Mama Maggie's doing her playlists. So you might could build off of those, even if it's kind of like the same.
Yeah, I have free Spotify, and I just, whenever I hear something, but I also have YouTube Premium, because that's pretty much where I get all of my stuff is YouTube. I'm addicted to it. So,
video game soundtracks, man.
Exactly. That's, Sam Tenez and some of the ones that do the epic stuff. I love that stuff. And I rediscovered last night Breaking Benjamin, because I was like looking for these heavy hitting songs that, for my villain. And suddenly I was like, oh, I forgot. Let me get them all. So I've got a whole playlist. Mostly them right now.
Yeah.
And their music literally this is why I like writing a lot of my battle scenes, geekishly enough, to Legend of Zelda soundtracks. The beat. Yeah. It's almost always 4/4 or 6/8, and it's a very easy pattern for the body to find and follow.
And if nobody's seen or their videos, Breaking Benjamin's videos, they're like mini movies almost. Yeah. So it's perfect. It's very dramatic.
If you have strong female leads, I suggest the Pretty Reckless. Their music just hits that note, and you can run with that character. I don't know what it is about it, but yeah. Well, at least with me. Eva says series Bible is a good way to get back into a story. It can help rediscover all the fun bits and pieces. See, Mama Maggie says, when I started editing the entire Relic of Time War, I read the books in the wrong order to make certain things were in the right place in the timeline. Then I began moving them around. Reverse series Bibles and reverse outlines are great tools. Yes, color coding characters is also an awesome tool. Yeah. Revelation Night series was my first playlist with a song for each chapter, and I found the lyrics creeping into the chapter. That's cool.
But Mama Maggie is really, truly repeat. If you read it in reverse, it still makes sense in reverse order. So it's a good way to check and make sure that your order of events are doing well.
Yeah. All right. And this is also from Tracy. Any tips on building a story/world Bible?
I transferred mine to OneNote I have a couple videos over on my channel about building a meta series between OneNote and a plot wall that's kind of like a detective level plot wall. So literally, if you want to have, red lines of yarn connecting stuff, you could. For me, you need to figure out how your brain contains everything. Does it do it in a mindset of like lists? Does it do it in a mindset of I need to have a specific space that's virtual or whatnot, and then just adapt it to? So my first suggestion would be, do you want it to be digital or do you want it to be physical? How much are you going to be carrying it around with you? How accessible do you need it to be to add on to? Because if you're going digital, I'm going to say do something like OneNote or Sheets, where it's very highly adaptable and is kind of literally blank canvas. I've seen people make them in Canva even. If you're a fan of Canva, you can just use their different journal pages if you want, or make a completely different blank page from scratch. Physical binder, if you're into planning, like washi tape, stickers, dig into what you have and see what works aesthetically first and pull on those skills next is where I would go.
I'm kind of like what Sam said before. I'm a pantser at heart and plotter secondary. So I pretty much have a spreadsheet. We have a spreadsheet. And then we also have, what's funny is we have both a spreadsheet and a doc that have, one has like names, specific names with families and everything's spaced out. And then of course the spreadsheet. So, and then I tried Notion for a while and, I don't know, I couldn't get it to sync right or something. So, I put that down, but it does have, like, if it's improved any, it does have some really good tools when it comes to world Bibles. So and it's free. You can find those in different areas. I can add them in the comments later. I'd have to dig them up now.
I think I could be wrong. Maybe Rhiannon Futch of Heart Breathings. She might have done a video or two on Notion, but I couldn't remember if it was on book Bible stuff or like time tracking stuff.
She used to use Plotter too. So
that's what she used to use. You're right.
So right now it's kind of, for me, it's up in the air. I'm gonna I just use my profits to get auto crit. So I'm gonna try that and see how that works.
I say as an editor, auto crit is amazing. It's saving people a ton of money.
Good to know.
So it's going to put me out of business.
Oh, okay. Because when I first looked at AutoCrit, I was like, well, this is kind of like Pro Writing Aid with a couple of bells and whistles, so I'll just stick with Pro Writing Aid. But the more I look at AutoCrit, it's like,
that was me. I have Pro Writing Aid, and I was like, maybe this is, I don't really need that and everything. But the more they add to AutoCrit, the more I'm like, okay, maybe. So this year, basically what happened was James tried it out, did the little trial thing. And then when he canceled that, they sent him an email saying, hey, we really want you to stick around. How about 50% off? And he's like, hey.
Well, why not?
That's awesome. Hey, Margaret, good morning. Let yourself be wrong until the story is written. And Tracy says she was thinking of using Notion.
There's a lot of good templates out there for Notion, is what some people have told me. So I would definitely get poking around for templates and see if you can alter them to your needs.
Yeah, there are templates for genre-based templates too in Notion. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. There's also, if you're writing fantasy, Campfire and World Anvil. I mean, they're like powerhouses, and I can't even fill out all of the crap that they put up there. Not that I would ever want to fill out, because like I said, I am, pantser.
Yeah, for me, it's like the bare minimum. I like to give my readers the chance to really, really decide what a person looks like, I give them the basics, and that's what I put on my little story cards and stuff in Google.
Not me. Former D&D, Pathfinder, Vampire the Masquerade, TT, tabletop RPG me has character sheets with all that info because one, my cast is huge. My cast is huge. Two, I have all that info on each of their character sheets, and it connects over to another page in OneNote, and it connects here. So if you have a program that'll let you kind of, like how you can make a spreadsheet say equals cell number, and it'll just copy the info as a reference. If you can find a program that'll help you to do that, and you do like to do the higher end Plantster plotter type things, then I would consider, seeing what Notion would let you do in that regard too.
And see, it's like with us, I've got, there's two of us. So we definitely have to have something, because I come up with a character. Okay, well, let me think of an example. Lagros, he actually has a specific face claim, a model that we use. And I was the one that came up with him. And then if Tina decided to write something with him in it, she needs to know what he remember what he looks like based on what I came up with. So it was very important for us to have something that we can share. And we tried, and Notion did have that, but it was limited. And that was another reason that I stopped using the Notion one. But yeah, if you can get something, if you have a co-author, then that would be a problem. If you don't have a co-author, whatever.
And if you don't want to have like too much of a learning curve, and if you already use them Google Docs, I mean, they've got graphs and everything, and it's easy to share with a co-author or with your critique partners or beta readers or something like that too.
And if you're into using the Google Suite, you can actually link a document or a Google Sheet into each other, and you can just automatically click that, and it'll take you to it too, which is super nice.
Yeah, you're basically making a wiki is what you wind up doing. Yeah. Which I think is what Sako was talking
that's
about.
The link to Sako's, she built a whole wiki on the Author 2 Writing Conference last year. And this is the video with that. So that was really helpful, even for somebody like me who doesn't want to have everything down. Let's see. And Maggie says, do your outlines in layers. Biggest events with characters are the first layer. Medium events, smaller, significant events. The plot affecting ones, not the filler ones. Yes. The plotter is a popular one. And yes, sometimes, Skye, you need to sleep in. It is awesome.
Especially after all you did.
Yeah. Double Down Day yesterday was awesome. Eva says, I've been using AutoCrit. I like it for the deleted, added tracking. I prefer Word for editing. Old school pen and paper. Then I create the digital copy. The computer has nicer, small handwriting than me. Oh, Lizelle has a video on how she uses plotters. So I'll see if I can find that.
I see Margaret saying that it's World Chocolate Day, y'all.
Yes, it is. I remember making a post about that on Instagram.
So you mean I have to tell the husband to pick me up chocolate on the way home, even though the anniversary was yesterday? Got it.
Exactly. Double it.
Pro Writing Aid. Mama Maggie's heading out.
Yeah, I have nothing. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with Pro Writing Aid at all. It's just that AutoCrit seems to be on another level. So I'm looking forward to popping everything in there and trying it out.
Yeah.
And it's totally okay to want to try something out. Maybe you've learned all you've learned from Pro Writing Aid for now, and that's totally okay, because Grammarly is going to catch stuff differently. AutoCrit's going to catch stuff differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This right here is Tiff's World Bible 2 that Eva mentioned. I dropped 6 links in the chat, so you can use them if you want to. You could just leave them in the chat, whatever. Hey, Jess, good morning. Yeah, World Chocolate Day. All right. Oh, and here is Lizelle's plotter video. Awesome. Thank you, Skye. You know, if you want to join, you can. The thing is still open.
Get in here.
Let's see.
One of us. One of us.
Eva says, I have not once used autocorrect to catch things. I just like the word count tracking. It's like PWA. I thought I simply used PWA with it. Autocorrect uses Grammarly, right? Yeah. But I know it catches a lot more than Grammarly, so it has to have like its own little thing.
It could be one of those things where it uses Grammarly as a baseline plus, because there's a couple of other entities that use Google search engine in that way, to be fair.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, anybody up here have any stuckages? Let's create a new word.
The Kickstarter launches in like 14 hours. So any suggestions on last minute social media things I should do?
You're doing the live stream.
Uh-huh. You're doing that with me tomorrow, right, Sam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get all of them.
I mean,
Make sure that, you've already given me a bunch of stuff that I'm passing out, and
true.
As many authors, that's one thing, is like, just make sure that if you're an author, you're supporting other authors. It's like, grab their social media stuff, share it, make sure that it's out there, because especially Kickstarters, that's a limited amount of time. It's not like a book that you're promoting and then you have the book out there the whole time. It's like, this is just a one and done. So if you can support authors who have those, then definitely do that.
And kind of even piggybacking off of what you said, something there with something like a book permalink that's more evergreen. Just because their book has been out for a while, reshare it. Just because the video has been out for a while, reshare those. Because I know the other day, somebody was asking me something about, one of you two did a couple different videos on it, like way back when, or you mentioned something in a live stream. And I'm like, it might take me a second to find it, but so yeah, kind of like what Sam was doing earlier, to get some videos to answer the question today. She asked around who has what video. Who do you know that does this thing? So just because it's evergreen doesn't mean it shouldn't be shared again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm what magic that I'm seeing right now, and I don't have either of my series done, is I'm making money. I didn't believe that this would happen. For so long, I was under $1 per month. You know, you would look at I got to where I wasn't even looking at my royalty stuff. Hey,
Hello.
So to Jenna's point, Doppelgangers and Deceit is making the most money, and it's 99 cents. It's going to be my loss leader, but the thing is, like, it took 2.5 years for it to get to this point where people are like, oh, I've seen, and I've even at events, I've seen you, or I recognize this book cover, or, you know, things like that. But it took a while. So be patient, and yes, reshare an author's older stuff too. It definitely helps.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Eva says, screen record how to follow before launch, after launch, for those who haven't used Kickstarter before. That's a good idea. Those who have, they'll see it, and you'll need to pull in new people too. And a lot won't continue if they have to sign into something new. Don't let that be news to them. I like that.
Good point.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I probably should have drank another cup of coffee before coming on here, because my brain just went.
Do you want to take a quick moment and then come back with a break?
We can, okay with a. I know Skye just joined us. Skye, you want to
we
go?
can.
Oh, go ahead. You want to go ahead and intro, and then the rest of us will go get coffee?
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
Coffee break for everyone but me. Got it.
Hang with you, Skye. We're good.
I don't drink coffee, so it's okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Skye. I am a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name SD Haggis. And this weekend, Eva and I had the crazy idea to do the 24-hour novel challenge. It is not going so well for me. I just woke up like a little bit ago after turning off my alarm, which was actually set for 4:30 so I could join all the extra live streams this morning. Oops.
You needed the rest and you deserved it. It was 11 p.m. Eastern when you started last night, because I ended and you started, right?
Yeah. Like, I have no regrets, but at the same time, I'm just like, man, I had plans.
I was planning, man.
I was planning to stay with her too, and I got like halfway, or not even halfway, and I was yawning every other minute, and I was like, dude, I gotta go.
Were you up with Kay too yesterday morning, Rach?
I was up at 6:30, and I went until 11:30, almost 12. I think.
Yeah.
I had gone into the living room by that time though, but so yeah.
Yeah, I got up at 6:30, and I was kind of sort of with Kay like halfway through, and I didn't have a clue that Skye went on after Jenna. I was out. Let's see. Still sipping on first mug. Tea time. Yes, Nicole likes tea. Went to sleep before Skye was done for Eva, but she had a 7K day. Awesome.
She did amazing yesterday. The most I got done was I got my outline done. That was like I was supposed to have started writing the other day. I have no expectations today. None. If I get something done, great. If not, I know I'm going to be gaming with the crew because we've got to go get an artifact today. So,
nice. Yeah, I got 6,899 yesterday. So
nice.
That was triple what I usually get every day. So I'm happy. I might take the day off. I don't know. Hit the Indigo Mails and ended with Jenna, and it was only 9 p.m. for me. Double Down Day was great. Awesome. Eva says I'm playing with the website things this morning. Yes. All right. Okay. I still can't think of anything for social media, Jenna. I'm sorry.
I figured it was worth asking because you never know. I might have missed something. I like Eva's idea, so thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Well, I'm not sure if this will be something for everybody to pitch in on, but what? Let me see if I can word it correctly with my brain. What if you've gotten to a point in your books where you do have a reasoning why somebody does something, but it may seem very petty to other people, and you want to make sure that they don't get readers don't get upset because the villain is doing something very petty, or for a petty reason. I don't know. I want to make sure that when we're writing our middle novel, which is the muddy middle for a reason, it doesn't get lost that that the villain is doing this because of something that happened a long time ago. I'm not justifying the villain at all in our books, but I just want to make sure that I've kind of got my brain stuck on this moment, like one of the big reveals in the book, and I'm trying to figure out how exactly to process and continue to go so that the readers don't feel like, well, that's it. What? No, So any suggestions? I don't want to give too much away because spoilers and stuff, but
it's also how often is it brought up. If you're in like a 60 to 90,000 word novel and it's brought up 10, 20 times, address it, move on. If it's brought up and it's kind of like just their thing, let them be their thing. They'll address it when they're ready. It comes up 2, 3 times. Readers might not mind as much.
I'm sitting up here saying let them be petty too.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going. I'm like, just let them be petty, because certain characters of yours are petty, so it's almost like just kind of expecting it, you know? I mean, yeah.
So what if you have a character that's been petty and been doing the villain thing this whole time, but at the same time, oh, okay, so I see that Justiva did put on there, have them face a triggering moment and make the villain vulnerable. So, okay, so maybe I'm not as far off as I thought I was. Okay, that makes me feel better, Eva, that you put those down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be something drastic. It can be a one line of text. Keep it simple.
Yeah. Yeah, talking over a beer. And then all of a sudden it's hold my beer.
Get out of my head.
Make it relatable. Nothing wrong with a pedicure. Yeah.
I love a good petty story in real life. Well, I love it in fiction too.
As long as I'm not the problem, the person that it's aimed toward in real life, I will sip my tea and watch.
Exactly.
Same. Good morning. All right. Skye, you got anything that you need to work through or ask?
Not at this time. Ask me again in a couple more days when I'm working further into this story.
I get it. So my main thing is right now, because I'm trying to think of, blurbs and stuff like that for the current work in progress and how to put it in the right genre. So it's a fantasy. It's got dragons, but it's got a lot of scenes. Like I'm not even through with. I'm in chapter 10, and there's six scenes. Yeah. So at one point, does it go from spice to
erotica?
Right.
Well, I've always heard that if the plot is based around sex, that is erotica. Okay. If the plot is not based around sex, then it is a very apparently spicy romantasy.
Okay.
If I said that right, since you said fantasy and romance.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been told. And then also genre plays a lot into it. Because so the Hubs is working on one that is isekai. I mean, it's based off of manga type, but it's written word. So in that case, it's part of what the genre he's writing. So there are these scenes in. So I mean, but if yours is just straight up fantasy and romance, but it's got that many scenes in it, I would say it's just something that's very spicy romantasy. If the plot is based on just getting it on, then that changes things.
Okay.
One of the helpful things. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it has a separate plot. I mean, it has a plot. It's just the main character, she deals with gaining her horde and dealing with being a human with that action, with sex, because she hates the human body. She basically hates her life. So that's the only enjoyable thing that she has to lean on. So, yeah.
Do
But-
all of the scenes have to be on the screen, if you get what I mean?
There's a lot that aren't on the screen already. It's just because every new set of people that she meets and she's traveling, she steals from them while they're happy. So yeah. What happens if someone breaks their leg away from home? Yeah. Yeah. She'll still, yeah. She'll find a spell that will heal it and go on. And safe sex, it's not really hit on all that much. I probably when I edit it, it probably will be put in there a little bit, but
I agree. Erotic romantasy.
Yeah.
If,
Okay.
From what you're describing, that's what I would label it.
okay, good. Because
it's a major portion of your plot. So
yeah. Okay. Good deal. Yeah, I was kind of struggling with that one.
You would clearly put 5 jalapeno pepper emoji whatever things on your rating. Just heads up.
Spicy.
It's fine. All right. Let's see. Anything else? No. Oh my goodness. Okay.
I don't have anything to bring up. That was my major thing. Was I was like tripping over this one thing. Like, should I do it? Should I not do it? I'm not sure. Now I feel better.
Good. I feel better about mine too, because I was like, this is going into erotica. I need a pen name.
Also, there is a huge following on Facebook groups for that exactly. So you will be able to find readers left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Good thing.
That's why the spice went back into my books, Sam. Just saying. Because the reader base was bigger.
Same. I mean, I hate to say it was a marketing strategy, but because we actually had written out the scenes, what happened was we were cautioned against it at first. And so we were like, oh, well, okay. And not having not been out and looking at social media and looking at, I know, Skye, I know, I get it. I know. But so we were cautious. We were brand new at it. We didn't know what we were doing. So now we have the new edition that has the spicy scene at the end that everybody wanted. And we've not taken spice out since because everybody wanted it. And they actually wrote me and were like, why didn't we get the scene?
I've actually had straight male readers say that about book 1 and 2. Why did you cut this out of the original one? Because my editor I had at the time suggested it.
Yeah.
I've had the opposite effect because everyone's like, why doesn't your stuff have spice? They get very heavy petty, but they don't actually make it to the bedroom. I'm like, because that's not what I want to write.
Yeah, if you don't want to write it, that is fine. But yeah, we had already written it and we took it out because, again, letting other people dictate sometimes doesn't work. Yeah. And Lord help anybody who's reading Sebastian. Dear Lord.
No comment yet. I'll share that later.
Yeah, I think because I mentioned it in one of the chats in one of the live streams, and somebody was like, "Ooh, tell me more," and I'm like, "Well, you don't want your mother to read it over your shoulder, kind of thing."
My father-in-law read it.
Stuff.
My father-in-law read it. The dude that went to the Vietnam War and everything, and I was like, he read this. He loves the first book. I'm like, okay. I'm just I don't know if it's because I wrote it or if he actually read all of it. He did read at least as far as the middle fight scene with the portal. I know that much. So I was like, oh, if he read a little bit more, then yeah. But
That's awesome. Let's see, Rita says, personally, I never write erotica. I can't even imagine me reading one. I tend to skip the spicy and paranormal romance and read it for the characters and plot. I get that.
so that's another thing that I've cautioned. And I would say for any author, you might want to make sure that if you're doing a scene like that, it is put into one per chapter. That way they can skip over the chapter if it's just not their thing. Just saying.
I appreciate that kind of stuff.
And don't read mine.
I like spice every now and then. It's just that I have moods and I'm like, I don't feel like reading this day. Skip.
Well, don't read this specific work of mine. All the rest, it's one chapter and we're good.
Oh, goodness.
Not one to read it or romance at all. I get that. Whoop. Read a lot of spicy, but I actually don't like writing it. One of my series is done. I am thinking of not doing spicy in my books, even though I got told I write it well. Ooh. And that could change too. Like this could be like a one-shot wonder for me, or you know, those that don't write spice, they might dabble into it every now and then. Taste change. Writing
That's very true. The spinoff I'm doing for Frey right now, there's like no romance in it at all. It's a portal hop realm walk mystery thriller. And literally it's a completely different write, and it kind of feels good to step outside of what I'm used to writing, and sometimes you need that too.
This right here.
Yeah.
And see, this is what I was like, okay, this book is going to be like right beside the monster romance books, and it's going to be okay. Big appreciation, skim the spice and fight scenes. Yeah, Lauren doesn't do it. Nicole, not so much. Let's see. Here we go. So, Skye, you're on Ream too, right?
Not yet. I've been debating it, but I'm not there yet. I've kind of been watching everyone else and seeing what they're doing so I can make my own plans.
Gotcha. All right, so do y'all want to tackle it first?
Oh, sure. I've got 40 followers now, which is great. I'm like, I didn't expect that. I don't have any subscribers yet, which is fine as far as I'm concerned, because I mean, as much as sure, I would love subscribers, but at the same time, I'm like, is it really ready for subscribers? Do I want to make sure I kind of want to make sure that I have everything in place so that they're not disappointed in what they get. So I do have, what I've decided to do is as I'm writing my stories, I'm putting them in on the higher tiers, for people to be able to look at the before and after of each draft and get to see that process go on and make comments if they want to. So I think that I've got like the smaller tiers kind of ready. It's the bigger tiers that I'm like, well, you know, whenever people decide, that'd be great. You know, I'll really focus on that then. So yeah, I'm just trying to push more and more of my readers to Ream as a free follower, because I like to be able to share things with them there where it's semi-protected compared to the newsletter, if that makes sense. Because on the newsletter, you know, you can kind of just, you know, take stuff, and yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, copy and paste. Okay.
I don't know how, but I'm going to be hitting 100 followers on Ream by the end of summer, and I don't know how.
Nice.
Their new discoverability system is really helping a lot of us people under 100 randomly get followers left and right. So for me, it's mostly just been posting stuff routinely, and I have a lot up there, but it kind of navigates what tiers it's on. They get some stuff early access for a while. I pull it back and replace it with something else on the lower end. So it really, really depends on what you cultivate, how often you post, all that jazz, just like it is here on YouTube. Same kind of building your own
And it is
microcosm algorithm applies.
it is slow for a lot of us. We didn't bring people over, and plus people don't like to trust. They don't like to break, oh, I got to subscribe to something else. Oh my goodness, that kind of thing. So I knew that was going to happen going in. So it's just a matter of waiting it out and seeing where it goes. And for me too, it's like, well, this gives me something to do. Like I've not like I don't have anything to do. I said that wrong. It makes me do it, like the companion stories. It makes me do one per week because I'm obligated to it. That's the word, obligated. Thank you, mental thesaurus. I feel obligated to do it once a week. Therefore, my books are actually being built. So there's a secondary reason for it instead of just, oh, I've got to do this because readers, it's dual purpose.
Okay. Mine is, I think I've got 8 followers. So part of it is kind of hitting me as I'm not good enough for this. But another part is I've got 8 followers. So yeah. And right now my ream is set up in a way where the first 3 chapters are public on everything that I have. My short stories are free to the public, I do believe, or might be free to the followers. And then chapters 4 through 6 or 7 are to followers, and then the rest are behind my tiers. But with this new Ream Raid thing, I'm going to use it to set one of my books to completely free during that Ream Raid. And then following that, I'm probably going to do one a month to make it free to the followers and stuff, because those are like my second and third drafts. Mists is my 4th draft on it, and I'm No Hero is, I don't know how many drafts I'll have to count somewhere in there, but but it's as good as it's going to get with it being 190,000 words. So yeah. But yeah, I've got 8 followers and I'm happy.
And it's just, once it's part of your funnel and you get used to sending people there, it's just like sending them anywhere else.
Yeah. Let's see.
It's become part of my newsletter. Like it's on the top part of my newsletter every time. And that helps out. Also joining in with some of the Discords and the Facebook groups and stuff. Like I'll find authors that I'm like, ooh, I like your stuff. I'm going to follow you. And so it's kind of a back and forth on that too. So it helps out.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of the Ream Raid though. So that's why I joined that.
Yeah. I'm forcing myself to do it because I am terrible at cross promoting my stuff. I mean, I'm sure y'all see, but I am terrible at cross promoting my stuff. And I'm going to use the Ream Raid to get somewhat better at it, to see how everybody else does it. And then hopefully I'll get better at it too. But
now, are you talking about cross promoting over platforms, or are you talking about cross promoting like inside of the platform itself?
Just all of the above. Cross promoting inside the platform and cross promoting like from my newsletter, taking my readers to Ream from my newsletter and stuff like that. I've
recently started doing that, and I think that's why my numbers went up a little bit, is because I put in there, hey, here's the beginning of a scene that is available only on Ream. If you want to complete the scene, go to my Ream. Being a follower is free. And then they will go to read. So that helped out.
A big thing that may have also helped out as well in preparation for the Kickstarter the last couple months, I've been telling my newsletter, hey, book 1 and 2 are free on Ream. You can only get book 1 wide free. If you want to get book 2 and know what happens and be a little bit deeper in, go there. And that's helped a little bit too. So it's kind of just or even just putting it in your YouTube description box. Because I know some people, including some of the people in the comment box, are description box crawlers. While you're listening to us chat, you read the description box, Sam.
Yeah.
I post way too many links in my description box, but it works.
Is there really such a thing as too many links in the description box?
No.
I'm the
I've been
kind of
told
person that
yes.
after
I've
the
been
live
told
stream is over, I
no.
take all the links that have been mentioned in the comments and put them in the description box.
Well, the people who are watching the replay are going to want easy access to them too, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Let's see, Eva says, I'm going to move my Vela over. It's only 3 episodes, and I don't know when I'll get back to it, but I set that up today. Awesome.
Nice.
Do you read the sub to other room? Yes.
Yes. I have a whole list of like 20 plus people that I have just their Ream links to share. So yeah, I poke around and see what people are doing. Not gonna lie.
Are they all in the same genre, or are they across different genres?
Some are nonfiction, some are, because you can do nonfiction on there. I'm watching some people who are doing audiobooks through Ream. They're recording them and just posting them only on certain tiers, get that version. There's so many different things people are doing with Ream stories right now that I'm just like,
Yeah.
when you take their academy courses, they emphasize this is your Disney vault. Treat it like that kind of status. And that's kind of their mindset when building and cultivating it. If you can make it happen, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, one of the creators that is doing really well is started on Patreon, but is going to move stuff to Ream. Has a bunch of books, but also does book boxes. She's very well known for her book boxes. So that's something that, like, that's one of the tiers that I added was, hey, if in the future you're a super fan and you want book boxes made, I got you. So, yeah, I love that they just let us go with it.
Yeah.
Do our own thing.
And they are so very helpful too.
As an outsider looking in, seeing everything you can do with Ream and how many possibilities it has is so mind-blowing. And I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, Michael is really nice. Amelia is really nice. You get to talk to them on their Facebook group and in their little workshops and stuff. Yeah, they are constantly doing stuff and upgrading. Very transparent. That was my big thing.
Yeah.
Very transparent about what they're doing and what their plans are.
Yeah. And yes, there is an app that you can download on your phone and you can follow. You can even post up your chapters on there, oddly enough, which I found kind of weird, but
a lot of people do write on their phones, surprisingly enough. I can't, but kudos to those who can.
I like the Skye setting up some links. Thank you. Let's see. She just set a paywall on her Substack, but it'll be for every post after they are free for 1 week. My latest post got so many reads. Yes, it did. It was gorgeous. Yay! Eva's following all of us. Yes, there's the Ream Raid link. Thank you, Jenna. And Linktree is awesome. Yes. Yeah. Ream is, like, I'm still kind of overwhelmed by it, but I love it. I really do. I love it because you can build your own community like you are here on YouTube. And like Jenna said, the sky's the limit.
And the readership should follow. It's just that it's so small, so young right now. And the way I looked at it was, look how old Patreon is. Of course, there's lots of readers there. Well, if we get in on the ground floor of this, then it's a good possibility that they're going to have a big readership that comes in too, as it gets more popular and more popular. I tried Vela, and not Vela because it paid for my first 3 books basically getting published, or first 2 books getting published. but at the same time, there no. This is me, okay? No transparency. They won't tell you anything that they're doing. They will do it, and then the next thing you know, you're just going to have to deal with it. That really shocked me. I was just like, what? And also the way that they're catering to the readers, which is, I get, you know what, you want to cater to the readers, but at the loss that they did, I was kind of like, I would say that the way that it is set up to really, really genuinely helps those that have been there from the very beginning versus anybody that goes in new. Whereas Ream kind of puts everybody on equal ground. And I appreciate
You
that.
build it.
Right.
And another thing that kind of got me is I've seen ads for Ream. I've seen other people promoting Ream. Bella, I haven't seen a single ad. You can't even really find it on your Amazon homepage. And
You have to search.
Yeah. It just, it kind of killed the idea of Bella in my mind. So yeah.
Plus, when you think about it, other places are so used to serial reads, right? All across the world. And yet Bella is only available in the United States market. And I'm like, what is going on with that? Considering the huge company you are, I get that there are other rules in other places. However, you should be working on that. This would be a great moneymaker for both you and authors if you could do it. But so far, I think that I've just not seen any effort put into it. And it just boggles me because, I don't know if you guys know Esther Andujar, but she writes romance, but she's out of this country. She's literally in like Puerto Rico. So it's like, this is actually part of the United States, but yet she can't get her own stories off of Vela. It's like, what? So, okay, I'll get rid of that rant. It's done.
As far as Bella goes, I feel like it had so much potential and they mucked it up. And because it essentially failed by their own doing, but they won't admit that, they're not going to put any more effort into making it what it could be.
Yeah. I need to read more on Bella because I have everybody saved and all her books. I was like, at least read like the first chapter or something, but then Webtoons pops up or Tapas pops up and I'm like, ooh. So yeah, I need to get more active on Ream. Yeah, I'm glad I got some folks got fun bonuses at least. Yeah.
I love the bonuses.
Yeah, at first it was awesome. Those bonuses were cool. I loved that. And I only had Mist on there. But then after that little bonus thing and then the change and then them still not promoting it, it just, yeah. Not good. Bad.
Bed's on.
All right. Let's see. I was trying to think of some more questions, but we've been here for about an hour. Do y'all want to head out?
Sure. I can't think of anything going on right now, and plus we have next week. So
yeah. Yeah, Skye's going to be hosting it next week. Some of our friends are coming up from out of town, and like I said in the chat, they're probably going to be here at dawn, and yeah, take up the whole day. All right, Skye, do you want to do your outro and then Rach and Jenna?
Sure. Hello, everyone. For those who don't know, my name is Skye. I am a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name SD Hages. I don't have a Ream, though this talk today has made me start thinking, should I? Because I currently have a newsletter freebie where I send out a chapter once a month that's actually posted to my blog. You get a snippet in the newsletter and you read the rest of it on my blog. And I was like, It would be so much easier if it was all in one spot. So now I'm thinking maybe I should do that. Anyways, I do live streams on Saturday evenings really late at night, and that's all I got.
I'm Rachel D. Adams, also known as Rach in the AuthorTube community. I do the AuthorTube sprints on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m., sometimes stretching it out a little bit depending on who's coming afterward. And I also have 4 books out, 2 series, and Ream, and just all the things. Aggressively helpful writing advice is my go-to right now on Substack. So come see me at one of those places.
Thank you all for being here today. Sincerely so. Look forward to hanging with you next week. Thank you for scheduling, organizing all this, Sam, and I hope to see you all tomorrow for the Kickstarter launch, and hope you have a good day.
So yeah, thank you, co-hosts, for showing up and being here for me, because I didn't have enough coffee this morning, and it would have been not a show. But I post up videos every Sunday and Thursday. I have one coming up in 2 hours. I do believe that's when I scheduled it. And it's going to be a new series that I'm doing for the month of July called Side Quests, Make Procrastination Work for You. And it's all about social media, aka doom scrolling. And so make sure to look for that. And I will be here Thursday during my live stream, my productivity stream at 9 a.m. And yeah, I think that's about it. All the links should be down below for everybody. And I will take the links from the chat. Thank you, Skye, for pointing that out, and try to put them in the description box as well. Thank you all. Bye.